Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another one. I hang out with Project Spirit, have a Q&A about the old girl, and just hang out and, just talk about an old car that I still drive every day, still enjoy her. So good that we can go live. The channel's big enough where we can do this sort of stuff regularly. And it's always so much fun. Hey, what's going on? Think different. It is a beautiful evening. It's beautiful weather out for this. So good that you all are here. Tinker around with Project Spirit. Just changing a couple little parts. Just a little routine maintenance. Nothing too terribly crazy. That's totally fine. Think different. I appreciate you still, coming in long enough to drop a like. I do appreciate it. I totally understand. And some people don't enjoy them, and that's totally fine. When me, I do things for laughs. That's just kind of how it is. Currently, I am off camera doing something to my lungs that I probably shouldn't. As promised, I will attempt to not smoke on camera. Oh, I know this is the stuff that you enjoy. This is my bread and butter. This is what the Prince Magnum channel really enjoys doing. And this is just a quick PCV filter change. Well, PCV valve. I'm sorry. Positive crankcase ventilation. And if you got any questions about Project Spirit, now is the time to ask away. I know there were some people asking questions about her yesterday. It's been a while since we changed that. Let's see. And if I miss anything in the chat, I do apologize. But just odds and ends on the old girl. Just hanging out with her. I was it's one of those things that every now and again, I get that whole thing where I just gotta come out and tinker with her. And I figure this would be an opportunity to see y'all let y'all see what I'm doing. Kind of how I maintain her. Or try to. You do for an oil change, bad. Real bad. There we go. That'll smooth things out. Again, thank you all. I see a total of 3 people in the live. Thank you so much for being here with me. Do appreciate y'all. Okay, so that part is changed. We now have a new positive crankcase ventilation valve installed into Project Spirit. So that is taken care of. This is the old one. Now I have the new one clamped on because I've had the old one, I've had that hose blow off a couple of times. There you go. I didn't know that place was still open. I didn't know Mario's was still open. Doggone. Oh, Gabriel. Well, it really they still do carry out and deliver. I didn't even think they were still open. Cameron, you don't have to. How you come in, it's important that you're here. That's all that we care about. Okay, right down there, that's the fuel filter that was installed in the car before we got it. Runs through the line, comes up, and then connects into that filter there on the carburetor. Well, the one on the carburetor, I really only have to worry about every now and again. But the one down there, I have to change every couple of months because modern day gasoline is just absolutely filthy. So every couple of months, you'll see me get out here and change this filter. I'm going to swap this around real quick. There we go. That's all it is. I just come out here and I change stuff like this on her. It's just something I do, something that I enjoy doing. kind of helps me relax. It's kind of my relax, you know, when I come out here and just work on an old car. Something about it. Here. And that, look at all that nastiness. Just nothing but dirt and grime coming out of that thing. No wonder. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I'm still here. I'm still here. We're still in business. We're still in business. Don't panic. Don't panic yet. All right. Well, while my stream was deciding to crash, we got the new part in place. That's it. Right down there. That's it. Simple screwdriver is all it took. There we go. Just like that, we're in business. Let's see what all I missed. Oh my goodness. You watch some of my old videos? My goodness. That is awesome. We're still live. We're still live. Doggone it. I hope I didn't lose all of you. I hope y'all didn't give up on me. There we go. Yeah, we're still in business. So we got the filter changed. So that is taken care of. Okay, so that's all we did. What happened? AT&T likes to rip us off on internet, and you know, I keep telling Princess Faye that maybe it's time to start talking PDA net and getting rooted phones and things like that. So we have been talking. I've been trying to get her on that whole thing because I'm getting sick and tired of being ripped off. And we pay serious money. You know, basically we pay good money to be ripped off, and she doesn't like to hear that stuff. She gets really upset with me. She's like, well, you know, you talk to him, and I have. And what I'll do is I'll actually show them a video of me interviewing Jammin' John and him actually explaining how internet companies will rip you off and his solution to it. And he explains how he actually has videos on how to do routing to your phone, get swapped over to PDA net, and through his system, you will actually have internet based on your own mobile data, not your internet data, but actual mobile data, where it runs off of your unlimited. Charter is pretty decent, but unfortunately, they're not that much better. It's just decent enough. You know what I'm saying? So we got that installed. But yeah, Princess, as a matter of fact, what I did to AT&T, and I don't think they knew what to think because you Jammin' John on that whole process, and he kind of and then what I do is I'll say, let me give you the name of this video. Go ahead and put it in your search and call me back when you're done. The last time I did that, they said, can we do to fix that? So we buffering. I'm still live. It's still showing that there's no interruption here where I'm at. Let's get this back on because I'll have to pick up Princess Faye here in just a little bit. Well, just a couple odds and ends. A good old Spirit. No big deal. There we go. Not too tight, just right. All right. Everybody's still here. So what's in store for this evening? We're going to do a chit-chat tallywhack about good old Project Spirit. Well, she's been a good car for us. I mean, been about the best I ask for, really. Just got through polishing up the Cleaning up the windshield. Looks a lot cleaner. Real quick, whenever you guys see video footage out from over the dash or where I'm driving one of the cars, that's the camera mount. That's actually where I mount the camera. And I'll turn it back around towards me, and then you guys can see what's going on. But yeah, I polished up the windows. The only thing I didn't do is the inside of the back window. It doesn't look bad, but I need to get in there and clean it real good. Need to vacuum that back area. Clean windows are safer than dirty windows. So because I go to work at 4, I'm usually clocking in at work at 4 o'clock in the morning. It makes sense to get in here and, clean her up. So that's taken care of. But yeah, Spirit's looking good. She needs a little TLC. That rust hole is starting to get a little bit worse. So we're going to have to get that taken care of pretty quick this year. We're going to have to get on that body work and get her cleaned up. All right. We'll come upstairs. Boom, there you are. So that's kind of the thing, because some people started asking questions yesterday about good old Spirit. I figured it was a good idea to go ahead. Guys, either fix it or I'll fix you. I'll see to it that you guys hate me. I hate being ripped off. I don't care if it's $1. Well, I don't care if it's $100 or $1. I hate being ripped off. Okay, that's just plain and simple. I hate being ripped off. You worked hard for that money, you get what you pay for, All right, so that little bit is taken care of on Spirit. We're in good shape. All right, so we got that all taken care of. Hi, Queen. Good to see you, Queen Bee. No, I'm not wearing makeup right now. It's good to see y'all. A little bit of coffee to kind of keep me rocking and rolling. Oh my goodness. We might even, beautiful weather right now. We went ahead and turned a few screwdrivers, I should say, a screwdriver on Project Spirit. Changed her fuel filter, changed her PCV. Hey, what's going on, Harrison? Hang on a second, buddy. I know what you want to see. I know what Harrison wants to see. Let's travel for a moment, shall we? Let's travel for a moment. You put anything DIY budget hot rodding here on the Prince Magnum channel, we got to travel for a second. Back to the real star of the channel. I don't care what anybody says. That's the true star. She's outside. Hang on. All right. Take y'all down the hall with me. Here we go. Okay, here we are. Oh, you were doing a stream, huh? Well, thank you. There you go, Harrison. I know that's what you wanted to see. Yep. We just changed out the PCV valve, and we changed out the fuel filter. And earlier today, I went ahead and cleaned the windows. Looks good. Looks a lot better. And of course, got back here. Clean the windows up real good. Clean windows are safe windows. Okay, so that's taken care of. Oh, you back? All right, good. Good to see y'all. Be sure that everyone drop a like if you haven't done so already. But good old Project Spirit. Been doing a little bit of cleaning and polishing on the old girl. Take a look. Clean the windows off pretty good. I got a smudge right there, but I can live with that. I can live with that. Nothing like a classic car. No, it's not being nice to me today, but we will live. We will live. I oftentimes wonder if maybe I might run up some serious watch time. Oh, I love that car. Love that car. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Since we're going back up to going back into HQ. This is home. Where our kitty cats roam. Not buffalo. We don't have buffalo. We got kitty cats. Okay. Harrison, I know you weren't here the last time when we did this, but we're going to do it specially for you. We're going to talk about Project Spirit's trophies. So let me grab all of her trophies. We'll move them here in the office. We'll chit chat about her trophies because Project Spirit is an award-winning car. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Everybody's favorite classic here on the Prince Magnum channel. That car has trophies. She's got quite a few, actually. There for a second, I thought I was back in makeup. I'm like, oh my God, not again. I was having flashbacks of last night. Princess Faye, for those that were wondering what Princess Faye was upset about, is she felt that even though I was, goofing and playing and everything, she kind of felt that it was a little too over the top, that it was too flirty, and it was kind of pissing her off a little bit. I know, and that wasn't the case, but she felt like that. So, I mean, I'm not saying she's not entitled to her feelings, by any stretch of the imagination. If that's how she felt, then, I needed to kind of do what is necessary so I didn't upset her anymore. Well, I was kind of goofing, getting into character and everything, and just having a good time. And we were all having a lot of laughs. And Princess Faye felt, oh yeah, everything's fine. She just kind of felt that it was a little too much, a little too flirty, and so it was one of those things, that I mean, when she said what she said, it's like, okay, I understand. I would, so I won't take that I definitely won't take that from her. But it was one of those things. It was like, okay, yeah, all right, so everything's fine. It's just that at the time she wasn't happy. Yeah, it was last night on the makeup stream, you know. So it was one of those things that basically it was one of those things she didn't feel right where I was going with it. So we talked about it. Everything's fine. That's one of those things about relationships. About marriage. Sometimes you guys don't exactly see eye to eye, and you got to talk about it, and that happens. So thankfully we were able to talk it out, no problems whatsoever. Not that she said this morning, and took her to work, and hey, it's been a good day. That just happens, that happens. So, anywho, Harrison, I know you want to see some trophies on Project Spirit. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Communication is very key. All right. For all of you, this is Project Spirit's very first trophy. This is from the Azalea Festival all the way back in 2016. This was her very first trophy that she got. And the reason why we got this particular trophy is because if anybody, well, we were actually put in the student class. At that time, Princess Faye was in college. She was in the beauty academy that used to be in our area. So do you get to chew on them? Harrison, love you, man. But this is her very first third place trophy. So we were put in the student class because Princess Faye was still in the beauty academy. And they're like, you're technically in college. You are considered a student. So because you're considered a student, you guys are in the student class. Okay. So that's where we were. So because Princess Faye worked on it, she was in college. We were in the student class. We took third place in our class. And this is Project Spirit's very first third place trophy. So, Sean, you're awesome, man. So if you ever wondered about that, Harrison, I love you, buddy. So yeah, this is her very first third place, her very first trophy, all the way back from 2016. And back in 2016, Project Spirit was nowhere near what she is now. Um, my goodness, not even close. We had just barely put in the Hurst shift for the 3-speed manual. We had just barely put that in. She was still on front drum brakes. Trying to give you an idea. She definitely was not show worthy. at that time. We're a lot closer to show worthy than we were back then. And come along. Oh, yeah, she's come a long ways. A long ways. Oh, my goodness. Hang on. Let me come over here to my pictures. I mean, you guys would not believe what that car looked like. Yeah, from when we got her all the way up until now. Oh my gosh. Where did I? Oh, wait a minute. That's what I get for goofing off. All right, hang on here. No, I started even editing that, so we're not even going to bother. Give me a moment. I know where her old pictures are. I had to move them to a different, I had to move them to a flash drive. If I ever lose these, oh man, I'd be losing out on the original pictures of Project Spirit. Oh my gosh. But when we got her, I mean, she ran, but nothing like you would think now. Not even close. Oh, here you go. You're going to love this. That was Project Spirit when we brought her home. That was her very first picture. Hey, what's going on, LSB? That was Project Spirit when we brought her home. Okay. That was exactly how she looked. Then if you come over here, this was her taillight panel. And I had to send her to a shop. So that was Project Spirit's first pictures. Okay. She was very, very rough. Yeah, same wheels. Polished them up. Good front nose shot. Now, in this picture, her grill is still intact. What happened was I went to change her oil for the very first time, and some oil had gotten on the ground. I slipped and fell right on this spot in the grill and cracked it myself. So that was my fault. She needed a new idler arm so she could pass inspection. So this was her first trip to a shop. And it was over in Park Hills. And then that was her very first car show. And this has kind of like been the picture, you know, if y'all are familiar with this picture, but this was her very first car show where we had cleaned her up, polished her up, and you can actually see right here, that's where I fell and cracked the grill. So that should give you an idea. And remember, at one time, we used to have two. This is Princess Faye. This was, oh yeah, always rocking the Punisher. But this was Princess Faye's 77 Ford Maverick, better known as Project Vera, sitting right next to Spirit. So we used to drive matching cars in a lot of ways. Yeah, that was Project Vera right next to Spirit. Some old, oh my gosh, I don't look at these pictures often. Here. That was at Deloge Walmart. The two cars together. And then the last one of the last car shows I was at. That's a funny story. Give me a moment. That was the last car show. Well, one of Spirit's last car shows, and we hadn't even put the pinstriping on yet. I say we. That was Princess Faye's work, but the pinstriping wasn't even on. You can actually see that in the picture. Okay, now you asked a good question. That's a real good question. Okay. Back when we had Spirit, maybe. See, we'd already done the Azalea Festival. It was maybe a month after the Azalea Festival in 2016. And somebody comes into work and he said, I'm looking for the guy who drives that old Maverick out there. And I actually was working front counter. I said, you're looking at him. He's like, oh my. He said, you? He said, a young guy like you. I said, I'm not that young anymore. And he's like, okay, I'll buy that. And he said, okay, I know where there's another Maverick. And I said, really? I said, how much are we talking? Because at that time, Princess Faye had just said 2 days before this, I wouldn't mind having a car like yours, just not one with a manual transmission. I said, okay, if I find one, we'll see if we can get it. And this guy comes in. Harrison, I'm 40 years old. Okay, 40 years old. Well, at that time, I wasn't a maintenance man yet at that time, but this you got to remember when I came back to this area, it was like I was like 30, 35 at that time, and I've been working for McDonald's. Shoot, almost 6 years. Thank you, Harris. I appreciate you saying that. But so we came. So it was like, hey, what's going on? We got two queen bees in the chat. Two queen bees. Queen bee, both of you. Hang on a second. We're going to go out. Ah, shoot. Hang on. I don't want to do that. Come on, you. There it is. Okay. Since we have both queen bees here, we have Queen Bee 2214 here. Since you're here, you hear me talk about my classic car all the time. The car that my wife fronted the cash so I can have, okay? Let's go take a look at her. I don't think you've ever seen this. Oh, yeah. You have a 1975 Ford Maverick that is still daily driven. 45 years later, this car is still doing what it does. So, that is my car. This is what I drive every day. We just did the rear taillight panel, fixed all the rust. Doesn't that look great? My wife actually painted that. Step back so you can get a good look. This is the true star of my channel. Now, I'm just the host. This is the star. I love that car. My wife technically bought me that. Oh, the pinstriping, that is not factory. That is not a factory pinstripe. My wife actually did the pinstriping on my car. Most people are shocked to know that. The hood alone took her 2 hours to do. And she got a lot of time and effort put into that car. And I'll tell anybody right now, I have an amazing wife. My wife works on cars with me. And, so any of you gals out there that sit there and say, oh, I can't, I wish I can work on car. My wife can do it. You can do it too. Okay. So don't ever sell yourself short. There was a meme that was going around right here on YouTube. There was a meme going around where are all the car girls? We've got our own here on the channel. My wife works on them. She's an amazing mechanic. Matter of fact, there's actual video footage. I kid you not, there's actual video footage where my wife took the wrench away from me, took the socket wrench away, 3 months pregnant, and started changing spark plugs on camera. I'm not kidding you. My own wife, 3 months pregnant, is. There you go. See? Women can work on cars. That's a funny story. Okay. We're going to go back in time here. You guys are going to laugh. Yes. I think a woman that can handle, all right, since we talked about the fact that this channel used to have two Mavericks, here's a picture of the two Mavericks that we used to have here on the channel. The yellow one, this one used to be Princess Faye's. This was my wife's Maverick, a 1977, and of course, that's mine. Okay? But yeah, my wife actually had, we would go to car shows or car meets together, both Mavericks, and ironically enough, mine, the ladies usually like, but all of the older guys, they loved. Don't worry, Sean. We'll get to it. It's right here. The running gag continues. But we used to show these two cars together. And hey, what's going on? Red Skull 561. I know who that is. Name change, but I know who that is. Oh, yeah. But yeah, we used to show both of these cars together. It is so good to have y'all here and talking about Project Spirit. We just showed her off again and started talking about trophies since we got both, again, we got some ladies here. This was Project Spirit's first trophy all the way back in 2016. And not a joke, this was her very first trophy, third place in her class, okay? So that's her very first one. Still very proud of this one. She really did not fit the part of, I don't know how in the world she brought home a trophy at that time. Probably because there wasn't that many in class, and Spirit is running solid as a rock. She's actually, I just got through changing a fuel filter and the PCV filter. It was literally 3 screws to do both, all total, both parts. Check the bolts on her carburetor, made sure everything is still solid as a rock, because she would run a little bit funny. I know we're getting close to time where we're going to have to change plugs again, because last time I changed plugs, it was back in November, and you really only have to do those every 6 months, except we're talking about Project Spirit. She's coming up on 40, this November, Project Spirit's going to be 46 years old, a 46-year-old car that's still rocking and rolling, but unfortunately, we got to take, you have to change your plugs a little bit more often. Yeah, we still use the copper core plugs. The problem is that you can't get platinum. You cannot get platinum for those inline sixes anymore. Yeah, I know, Harrison. It's a young car to you. And I appreciate that, even though that car's almost half a century old. That is not a joke. But for the record, I will say it again, Project Spirit is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel, and for damn good reason. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. I can't talk. Thank you, Sean. Yep. Thank you, Red Skull. Project Spirit has been with us for a long time. She's a good, solid running car. And if we, we'll continue to travel back over and take a look at the old girl. Again, I don't mind. Now, here is her runner-up trophy from her second car show. And this was actually in Pilot Knob. And to tell you the truth, most of you'd be shocked to know that car show in Pilot Knob, The Prince Magnum channel literally only had 50 subscribers at that time. I'm not kidding you. 50 subscribers when we did the car show in Pilot Knob. This is her trophy. And so this was back in, runner-up, 4th of July, 2016, you know. So this was her trophy. And she's just, an amazing ride. I love driving her, So this was her runner-up trophy. Technically, you could call it second place for her class. And that same day, Princess Faye, who was in another class with her 77 Maverick, because we were separated into different, I was in the early, kind of the 1970 to 1976. And then she was from 77 all the way up until 90, 92, 93 in that ballpark area. So she was in that class. She took first place in her class with her 77 Ford Maverick. So if that's any indication, Princess Faye, so basically I took runner up in my class, and the same day with her Maverick, she took first place in her class. Now, a few people have asked me, Prince Magnum, does that bother you at all that Princess Faye? Hey, what's going on? Fleming, the ultimate grave taker. Welcome to the live stream. I was just showing off Project Spirit's trophies. We just came in from looking at the old girl. Fleming, do you want to see Project Spirit? Do you want to see Project Spirit, my man? Because I know you do. I'm waiting for you. Yeah, I want to see Project Spirit because I just got through cleaning off her windshield and tightening a few things and changing a couple little bitty things while the stream was acting up in the early stages of. Yes, I do. I knew that was a coming. Well, let's do a little bit of traveling. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about her trophies some more. We'll talk about her first place trophy that she got all the way back in 2016. Again, Project Spirit did not look that good all the way back in 2016 compared to what she looks like today. I mean, she's come a long ways. A long ways. Oh my gosh. When I look at those old pictures of her, we actually did just look at her old pictures, when we first brought her home, like the first 5 pictures I had of her. There you go. There's Project Spirit for you. I just cleaned up her windows. Got the brand new seat cover from Jammin' John. Not really my style for a classic car, but you know what? He got it for us, and I appreciated that he did it. Of course, the Hurst shifter with a Punisher skull on it, but that'll be going away once Princess Faye paints the old shift knob. And there you go. That's Princess Faye. This is not factory pinstriping on here. Princess Faye actually put this pinstriping on. That is her work. My wife did that. She put the pinstriping down the side. And of course, the tail light panel that we did, from one of the last edited videos that we did. And that tail light panel is actually, how they did the satin black on them like that. That was what they did to the Maverick Grabbers back in the day. So if y'all ever wondered about that. And I will actually tell you how that whole thing comes about. And that's the original wheels that you've seen, how filthy they were in those original pictures. Of course, we've cleaned them up, polished them up here on the channel. That's right, Queen. That's right. I actually will show off my wife's work. Matter of fact, here, show you guys this real quick. We got her ignition panel. Looking good. No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke, but I use it whenever I hook up my cameras. When I hook up a camera, I'll mount it there, and then the wire runs down to right in here, and then I set my battery for the camera right in there. So I never actually, even though I'm a smoker, I don't actually smoke. I don't use the ashtray. Okay. Oh. Add a 2 to the front of this. And that's Project Spirit's actual mileage. She's getting ready to turn, she's actually getting ready to come up on 300,000 all original miles on the engine. That is not a joke. That old 6-cylinder that's still in here is coming up on 300,000 miles. Oh, and real quick, that is Princess Faye's artwork. She actually did that at a car show. People came up and seen her working on that piece. She did that herself right there. That's her work. Oh, here, real quick. Please note, no buttons for air conditioning. Nothing. This is how it was back then. This was your heating control system here. You had your switches for the fan, you know, for the heater motor. You'd flip that up and down. And then right here, this actually controls your thermostat. Thank you, Fleming. Appreciate that. And this controls your heat and your defrost. But right here, you pull this straight out and you're going down the road, open up your vent, cool air blows directly in. So you actually do not actually need air conditioning in this car. And there's the third pedal, the 3 pedals. She is a stick shift. You're going to love this. Put my hand here. Push in that clutch. First gear. Second gear. Third gear. Reverse. The reason why it's like that is because the stick shift used to be right here. This is what we called the 3 on the tree. There used to be a lever that came off of here just like this, came up right about like that. And basically you shifted right here. And it would go like first, second, third, and then all the way over and straight up like that, you know. There's a first, second, third, all the way over and straight up. That was reverse. So when you move it down here, you have that unusual shift pattern. So if you ever wondered about that. So literally whenever when I'm hot footing it, I'll put her up into first and then real quick, it's boom, that quick. Straight up, right into third. And that's all the gears I have. I don't need any more. So, and of course, like I said, we'll show off the new the shift knob that's been redone. Princess Faye is going to put some amazing artwork on it, and this will go away. I really don't like the way it feels in the hand. I mean, it's okay, but I really don't like it, and it just doesn't fit right for my taste. So, and the bench seat. Now, if y'all are wondering why I love bench seats in classic cars, for our ladies out there, Princess Faye can scoot right next to me. I could put my arm around her when we're cruising down the road together. Try to do that with bucket seats. So, and real quick, please also note, no kilometers printed on the speedometer. No kilometers. Right over here, that's the fuel gauge. And then these little lights here. The joke about these indicator lights back in the old days, we used to call them dummy lights because they always went off just before something actually broke. So it didn't actually do what it was supposed to do. That's just one of them things. So, and of course, right over here, just your regular old glove box from back in the day. And it actually has a lock. You can actually lock this. I need to clean that out. Right up here, the Maverick logo. Now, Sean, America. Okay. Still shut solid as a rock. So, if you all ever wondered what it was like, this is a daily driven car. I will be driving this car to work tomorrow. And I'll be driving it home. And I'll be driving it back to work the next day. Every day I go to work, I drive that car. So, every day I go to work, it does exactly what it was meant to do back in the day. And a lot of people take that for granted, you know? What, Galaxy? Well, come on. You know who you're looking for. There, there's Galaxy. So, um, so that there's that. I mean, Project Spirit has been doing for 45. Well, technically, she's a beautiful black cat. But yeah. So if y'all ever wondered about that, you know, when I say that is a daily driven car, we ain't joking here on the channel. We ain't a joking at all. So we were, yeah. For the record, Sean, you actually saying no kilometers because this is it's an American car, America. I will tell you something. I will tell you something funny. Most people would be actually, you probably wouldn't be shocked to know this. Yeah. I have a firm belief that if a car uses metric, if it takes metric tools, it's meant for Europe. If it has SAE, standard, American measurement bolts using our system, it's meant for the United States. Car companies, car companies will swap that around willy nilly. So you have to have two sets of tools with modern cars. And what I will actually say is, it's not a true American car if it has metric bolts and nuts on it. It's not a true American car. That's just how I feel about it. Or Asian, yeah. And I said, if you bought something from, say, like Toyota, and yeah, I know Toyota has plants here in the US, but their home office is out of Japan. So, that's just one of those things. Technically, they're not a true American car company. That being said, if you bought, say, or even, Volkswagen, Porsche, any car company from Europe or from Japan or even China now, yeah, you kind of expect that it's going to have, it should go, it needs metric bolts, okay? But if it's an American car made here in the US, then it's supposed to have our stuff, plain and simple, which explains, I'm going to go ahead and just say it, and I hate to be the guy that says this. If you own a car after the year 2006, there's an excellent chance your car was probably made, it has a lot of stuff made in China. And I hate to be the guy to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's an excellent chance that your car was built on slave labor because China is a communist country and they will pay whatever they want. Okay. And as a matter of fact, there are companies that openly admit that they allow China to use child slave labor to make their stuff. Rawlings Sporting Good. I used to work for them, and they talked about it all the time, that there was stuff that they had in China that was made by kids. No child slave labor laws over there. So, and car companies are the same exact way. So that's why I won't get anything after the year 2006. So if y'all ever wondered about that, I'm very, I got 5 kids, doggone it. So I don't feel right about that, so I won't. So, okay. Enough of that Debbie Downer bullshit. All right. So we just talked about her first runner-up trophy from that one car show in Pilot Knob in 2016. Now, this is from a car show over in from the West County High School. This is her first place trophy. First place in her class. For the Street Machines class from 1971 to present date. Oh, as a matter of fact, when all the students found out that Project Spirit was a YouTube car and that we were on our way up, yeah, they do. Everybody, we have a wonderful person in the house, none other than Mr. Third Gen 83. Third Gen 83 is also a proud owner of his own Maverick 73, if I remember correctly. Good year for Mavericks. Gorgeous looking ride. Oh man, good looking car. Um, I'm gonna tell y'all right now that is a very good looking car. He's had her his whole well, at what, 81? 81 when you got her? What's going on, Chairman? We're talking about Project Spirit, talking about the old girl, the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. Uh Take that car everywhere. I mean, she's good looking car still. Um, but yeah, no question. Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We need to stay far away from China as possible. Okay. So there, that is now 2017. Project Spirit did not do car shows in 2017. Then in 2018, we were back in the car show scene. So from 2018, third place in her class. 81. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. That is her, her third place trophy from 2018. Good, So by then, as a matter of fact, we just looked at that picture from one of her last car shows. This was from one of her last car shows. We did a couple more that year, and it was okay. You know, the last trophy she got was this one right here from 2018. And that was right here in Bonne Terre. She took runner up in her class, and that was it. That was the last trophy she took. Good looking, still a great car. A lot of fun to drive. I know what y'all want to see. We got some people coming in, and I promised that if any more people came in, we would go back out and take a look at Project Spirit again. So let's do some traveling. Let us do some traveling. So I'm going to take y'all with me. I'm going to just bebop away over there just like that. No, we're not doing that. That's freaky deaky. We ain't doing that again. All righty. Take a walk down the stairs without falling. And we're going to go take a look at good old Spirit. She's still a little, I got to get her over and get a car wash to her, but I just got through earlier cleaning up her windows and, of course, changed out a couple of little parts while the stream was acting up on us. But there she is, Project Spirit. For those of you who missed earlier, we come back out here every now and again so y'all get a good look at her before the sun goes down too terribly far. There we go. But there is Project Spirit. She's come a long ways from them early days. Long ways. Oh, she's not here. She's not a white car though. She's not white. This is actually a light blue. It's a little faded, but it's a light blue. And there you go. That tail light panel, or the rear valence as it's sometimes called, done in a satin black. Right up the side. She's got some dents, dings, and a little bit of rust, but doesn't look too bad. You can get a little closer, you can kind of see, there you go. Now you can get a good look at the blue. It just looks that way to some people. In this type of light, it does look white. I do admit, it does look white, but if you get up close, that is the original paint. That is the original paint. Not gonna, yeah. Now again, the pinstriping that you see on the hood, the pinstriping, my wife did that. She actually put that on herself. And real quick, I don't like the general way. Here. There we go. Y'all try to do that one-handed. The original engine, still there, still going, but it's been updated a little bit. We did that exhaust manifold in a video. My wife's artwork yet again. We just changed out that fuel filter there. PCV valve. Looking good. They just don't make them like this anymore. Paint her up like the General Lee. Sean Connery cuss you. All right, let's see if I could do this without killing myself. Now, for the record, I hate hood props. I hate those things. That's where it latches in. But yep, that's my wife's handiwork. There you go. So there you have it. Came back out and we took a look at Project Spirit as the sun's going down. I think she still got it. You know, she's in rough shape, but she's getting there. You know, that's just part of a car. You gotta work on them. You know, and every Galaxy, come on. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. What, are you getting on to me because I went outside? Here, go ahead. Go ahead. It's too dang hot in here anyways. Well, what? Oh, she's killing me. What? What? Do you want attention? Actually, I know what she wants. She wants food. She all want food. Oh, you think you're gonna die? Affection. Oh no, you don't know Galaxy. She's not a big fan of affection. Unless it's on her terms. It's got to be on her terms. But yeah, so if y'all wanted to see Spirit again, we went out and looked at her. I mean, again, I drive that car every day. Yeah, she'd be spoiled. But I drive that car every day to and from work. And let me tell y'all, them old bench seats are doggone comfortable. There's been times I had to, kind of pinch myself, and all that sort of stuff. So I, don't fall asleep at the wheel because the old bench seats are really comfortable. So just one of them things. You got to be careful, All right, let's hook everything back up. So we looked at her trophies again. We went out and we talked about the old girl. She's come a long ways, and, now that we've talked about that and we've had some, like riding that, yeah. Oh yeah. That ain't a joke. Just like riding on your living room couch, man. They're very, very, them old bench seats are real comfortable. Now that we're back in the office, let's talk about something else real quick. For those that do not know, I showed the camera mount where Project Spirit, on Project Spirit's windshield. The cameras that will hook there, I use those cameras for everything. As a matter of fact, they're such great cameras that that's like, why not just keep using them instead of buying several other cameras? The sound quality is usually not that bad, unless for some reason it's just like really loud, or the speakers turn, the microphones turn the wrong way. Other than that, it's he knows they're great cameras. Unfortunately, if I want to mount them anywhere else or set them up anywhere else, there's no camera stands, there's no mounts. So I got the idea maybe I should just go ahead and make my own. So I actually cut back in behind HQ is just kind of like these where there's like small trees, and every year usually the city will come through and they just cut it all down and they haul the brush off. Well, I decided to go ahead and cut one of those trees down for myself, and I took a section of that tree, figure I might as well put it to use, and decided to turn it into a camera mount. Now, the way that works is right there, I basically cut that section out and the camera just sits in right like that. Then to get the where the lens is on the camera to sit on this new mount to where it sits properly, basically got that section cut out right like that. And to do that, to get this section cut out right perfect where this lens will sit in it, I basically took this half moon shaped file, this one right here, and I laid it down right like that into the groove, and I worked it back and forth until the camera lens sat perfect in there. And because I did that, basically using a file to get this cut out absolutely perfect, that must mean I'm really good at filing and I should try my hand at being a secretary. For the for the record, that is one of the running gags here on the channel that I should be a secretary because I'm good at filing. Because I'm good at filing. It's like if I'm here in the office, I have to tell the joke. I have to tell the joke because because literally this is a camera stand that I made, and it's just kind of like I have to tell that joke. And there was one day Princess Faye was getting ready to come tell me something, while it was in stream, and she's seen me holding this dang thing and seen me with the file in my hand. She's like, "Nope, I'm out of here. I don't want to hear it." she hates the joke now. It's kind of like the what the aircraft remover. She hates that. She hates the series now. But ironically enough, she technically was the one that started it all. It's her fault. So here again, Sean was the one that pointed. Wait a minute, is it? So technically, aircraft remover's her fault. Yeah, that was Sean that pointed that out. Queen's like, yeah, here it goes. Get ready. The infamous joke. And of course, Sean's just over there. It's like, I love that joke. I don't think he gets tired of that joke. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of fun here on the channel. But yeah, so Project Spirit's got a grand total of 5 trophies to her name, and it's so much fun to go to car shows. Here again, if you missed out, we used to have 2. And of course, like I said, that's Project Spirit, obviously, and that was Project Vera. Still wish we had that car. Wish that those things that that her frame didn't rust out from underneath her. But boy, that was a lot of fun to drive that car too. A lot of fun. Currently, right now, most of you might be surprised to know that I'm actually working on. I'm actually working on kind of like a long-winded music video, probably close to like 45 minutes, basically going from the very beginning when we first got Project Spirit all the way up until current date. Real quick, let me show you guys something why I don't like hood props on cars. Okay. Okay, you can see I'm working on Project Spirit. I just moved out of the way, and then that happens. The wind took it, and the hood come crashing down. I had just moved in time, and if I hadn't moved when I did, the hood would have actually came down because of the way I was bent over working. It would have came down and knocked my lights out. Yeah, I've had hoods actually fall and about take fingers off from hood props. I hate hood props. And I'll tell anybody right now, I don't know why car companies do that. It's dangerous, very dangerous. So, all righty. So, do y'all have any questions about good old Spirit? I mean, we got tons of questions I could answer for you guys. Oh my gosh. Hang on here. Uh-oh. Am I missing anything? No. Okay, we're okay. So, any questions so far about good old Project Spirit? I mean, goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to, yeah, I got to get on this. For those that do not know, Project Spirit has had her transmission actually changed. The 3-speed manual that's in her now is actually out of a '67 Mustang. So ironically enough, the transmission in Project Spirit is older than Project Spirit. Not a joke. Not a joke. That's a good car. I enjoy driving her. And of course, real quick, Project Lena update. We took her and dropped her off at the shop earlier today. They're going to put the new back brakes on her. And then yeah, that was close, wasn't it, Queen? That was cutting it close. But Project Vera will be back home tomorrow around about noon. Okay. And then Princess Faye will start driving her regularly again. We had to take her off the road for a couple days. The back brakes were hanging up bad and getting kind of dangerous. So we'll pick that up. We'll pick up Project Lena tomorrow and bring her home, and she'll be back to driving daily. And then it'll be on to the next part of that project. I know right now Princess Faye is talking about redoing the pinstriping for right now on Project Lena. I know some people, whenever they come onto the channel, when they, there are some people that, believe it or oh, you got it. You got a Monty? You got a Monty? That is what is up. Funnest part of the day. Well, Hades, it's perfectly okay because it's not super dark yet. It's getting there. But you know what? Since you're here now, I know who you want to see. You don't want to see me in this one. We're talking Project Spirit. That's who you want to see, don't you? Let's take a walk. We'll do it again. Galaxy's going to get pissed at me. my black cat. That's her. She gets upset when I go outside. I think she's just feeling like I'm not supposed to be going outside right now. But I'm going to take y'all with me again. And we're going to go out here and we're going to take a look. Star of the Prince Magnum channel. I am just the host. The real star? Come on. There she is. The real star of the Prince Magnum channel. There you go, Hades. That's who everybody wants to see. Oh yeah, I get you. That's your baby too, isn't it? But there you go. My wife did the pinstriping, by the way. That is not factory. My wife did that. Oh, well, earlier when we changed out the PCV valve and we changed the fuel filter. That's really it. And we talked about the trophies that Project Spirits brought home. That's her taillight panel we did earlier. The video's up already. The Return to Glory series. There you go. And of course, you missed the infamous joke about how I made the camera mount. We'll do it again just for Sean. But there you go. Everybody's favorite car. As a matter of fact, talking about cameras, anytime you see a shot that's out over Project Spirit's hood, That's the camera mount right there. That's actually where the camera mounts. Okay? So if you ever wondered about that. Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, um, kind of give you an idea where I live. A lot of woods still, a lot of woods. So that's where where I live. How many miles? Well, ironically enough, on her original inline six, we are coming up on 300,000 all original miles with that six cylinder. It blows my mind. Or a 45-year-old car with almost 300,000 all original miles on its engine. Galaxy's getting ready to tear my head off, I think. Sean, you ornery cuss. I wouldn't have you any other way, man. Hang on a second here. And yeah, we talked about the camera mount that and I grabbed this is actually one of Project Spirit's this is actually Project Spirit's dash cam that we're so if you ever wondered how I get those shots from over her hood, this is the actual camera. And here we go. I'll go ahead and hook it up. Now, real quick, these are, I've got two of these, all right? And these are black webs, and bought them for like 20 bucks at Walmart. They're dang good cameras. I'm not kidding you. These are amazing little cameras. So good, in fact, that we use them pretty much for all of our video footage here on the channel. Now, the only bad thing is if you turn them the wrong way or anything like that, you get a little bit of distortion in the microphone. Other than that, the microphone is actually right up here. So if you get it turned the wrong way, you get a little distortion in the audio. But other than that, amazing little cameras. But they're so good, in fact, that, like I said, we use them for. We've had Project Spirit, believe it or not, over 5 years, coming up on 6. I'm sorry, 4 years coming up on 5. And that entire time, she's been the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. The Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. That is not a joke, okay? That's why I always say she's the real star. But anyhow, we use these cameras for everything. And they're so good, in fact, that one of my biggest complaints is that I wish that we had good mounts or stands for these cameras because they're that good. So you can't find anything like that. They're dash cams. So I got the idea that I was going to actually make my own camera stand. So I did. I made my own camera stand for these, just like that. It sits in there. And basically, I literally cut down my own tree, cut this section out, and then basically kind of carved this section out, right like that. And then once I got through with that, to get the lens to sit where it does, what I had to do was I had to take a file, this half moon shaped file, this one exactly, and I had to lay it down right like that. And I worked it back and forth till this this lens would sit perfectly, right like that, okay? So, because of the fact that I used this file to cut out this section right here, that must mean I'm really, really good at filing and should try my hand at being a secretary because I'm good at filing. Wait for it. The running gag keeps on going. That is Sean's favorite joke here on the channel. When we're here in the office, I got to do it at least once, and there it is. And it's kind of like aircraft remover. Yeah. It's kind of, we have our running gag here on the channel, and that's it. And Sean actually, We were in here one day, and it was after I had told the joke for the first time, and Sean's like, what about that camera mount? He wanted me, and I knew what he was asking for. And ever since then, when we're here in the office, and he knows that this is in the office, we have to do the joke. We have to do the joke. It is like, it's just it kind of goes together like death and taxes. Okay, but yeah. Literally, I really did actually make this because we use these cameras for pretty much every shot. And as a matter of fact, we got lucky because I actually had this camera set up. And when I showed the video footage where the hood crashed down, this is where the camera was. Oh my gosh. Amber, I'm glad you came in. My goodness, you poor thing. You poor thing working that many hours. Oh man, I've worked some hours, but I don't think I've worked that many in a row. My God. Well, Amber, since you were kind enough to come into the live, I know who you want to see, okay? I know who you want to see, the most important, the real star of the Prince Magnum channel. The real star is not me. Yeah, I know all too well. I used to work the medical field myself, and I know all too well how important you are. So, the real star of the channel is not me. I'm the host of the Prince Magnum channel. The real star, well, we got to go out and see her. Galaxy is going to get pissed at me again. She doesn't like me going in and out and all that stuff. No, the true star of the Prince Magnum channel is right outside. Project Spirit. So let's take a walk, see. I need to stop bebopping my head like that. That's just creepy, me doing that crap. And I better be more careful. I'm about to fall down these steps yet. I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. All right. There she is. Good old Project Spirit. My daily driven 1975 Ford Maverick. 45 years old, built technically, she's technically 45 years old. Built in November of 1974 to get ready for the new model year. The pinstriping you see is not factory. No, the pinstriping you see, my wife did that pinstriping. That is her work. That is not factory. Took her 2 hours to do the hood alone. Then back here, we just did the taillight panel and redid it in a flat black. Or satin, technically. Depends on the company that made the paint, but that is a satin black. Just like they did on the Maverick Grabbers. I drive this car every day still. Inside, you still have a bench seat. So Princess Faye can sit next to me and I can put my arm around her. Standard transmission, 3-speed manual. And we just got through polishing and cleaning up the windows, because clean windows are safe windows, and we changed out a fuel filter a little while ago. Put in a brand new PCV valve. She is ready to go again. Oh, now you asked a really good question, Hades. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all Hades. You guys are gonna love this. Let's go back upstairs so good old Galaxy can meow at me and tell me I'm a jerk. Yes, I know you ain't happy about it. Okay. Originally, Project Spirit was not the original project car for the Prince Magnum channel. Originally, we actually had a 1996 Ford Mustang. It had a tired, worn out 3.8 Ford V6. And I will be the first one to tell you, I thought it was a bad buy, but we started making it a really good buy. it was actually a really, really thank you for being here. Thank you so much, Amber, for being here. Appreciate you. Much love to you. You go get some rest, okay? Technically, Project Spirit's not a muscle car. And give me a minute and I'll actually explain all of that. But anyhow, so now that we've, basically what happened is we had this 96 Mustang and it's like, okay, we started fixing it up and it was coming along. And we actually showed that car. And technically that was the original project car for the Prince Magnum channel. Well, it wasn't even maybe a week after we uh got the last trophy for that car. That car was known as Project Beauty. And it was in the real early stages of the channel. And I consider that kind of where we were just starting. Kind of we actually have videos still of that car here on the channel. Go way back to 2015 and you'll see original footage of Project Beauty. That is not a joke. And it was a good looking car, but I would be the first to tell you of the Mustang. That was the original project car for the Prince Magnum channel. And I will tell you all that I hated that car, but towards the end of its lifespan, I started kind of getting to where I liked it a little bit. But I'll tell you right now, I do not. Ford stopped making Mustangs after 1978. Period. They stopped making Mustangs, in my opinion. And I know there's going to be a lot of Mustang fanboys out there that are going to get upset at me saying that, but they stopped making Mustangs a long time ago. Okay, when they stopped making the Mustang 2, that was the end. Because yes, I think the Mustang 2 is a really cool car. When they went into the Fox body platforms, the Mustang got ugly. It got ugly fast. And I did not like those years of Mustang. I thought they were ugly in the 90s, and they have continued to get worse. They're just disgusting looking, okay? And yeah, they'll style them to look a little like they're old, but no. Ford stopped making Mustangs a long time ago. And yes, again, I do think the Mustang 2 is a good looking car. And it gets way too much hate for how awesome it really is. Because Mustang 2s came factory, standard, with rack and pinion steering. Okay? As a matter of fact, if you get a classic car, well, if you get an antique car or something like that and you go to update the steering on it, you always get a Mustang 2 steering suspension kit for the front. That's not a joke. Okay, that's what everybody does. If you get a 57 Chevy and you need to update the suspension, you get a Mustang 2 suspension kit. Period. Yeah. So initially, when the channel started doing car shows again, well, first started doing car shows, it was with the 96 Mustang. Well, the last show that car was at, that Project Beauty was at, a week later, after taking a trophy at that car show, Princess Faye was in a horrible accident with that car, totaled it. And as a matter of fact, she actually had to be airlifted from Bonne Terre, Missouri, all the way up. Well, no, Park Hills, Missouri, and had to go all the way up to St. Louis. Now, Think Different might still be in here. Gamerin, I'm going to tell you right now, that was not disrespectful. If anything, I admire your honesty, okay? I admire your honesty, okay? And if I know that you're not alcoholic, okay? But if you were, then I would hope that you would talk to me about it. I'm going to say this right now. You don't have to apologize for anything. You don't have to apologize for anything. I'm just glad when you're here. All right. All right. Think Different. You were on Highway 67, the guardrail on that bridge. Well, the bridge that's right next to Rosener's on Highway 67, the guardrail on the bridge. You remember back in 2015, when they lengthened that guardrail, the reason why they lengthened that guardrail was because of Princess Faye. That is because how twitchy those back ends are. She was going down 67 and she was moving a good lick. Roads were a little slick from it raining. As you already know, this is bad news. A sports car in a rear wheel drive sports car in rainy weather. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Well, she was in the passing lane. She was moving a good lick. And she went, basically, she was in the passing lane and someone was flying up the highway. And she used to be a lot more panicky back then. And they were flying up the highway, coming up behind her, and decided instead of slowing down like they're supposed to, they honked the horn. She panicked, cut the wheel to go back into the right part of the lane on the highway. The back end kicked out on her. She went, yep. Hi, honey. The back end came out on her and she went backwards off of a horrible embankment. And when she hit, she came in rear end first. The front end kicked around on her and Cannon went around the other way. Her head hit the driver's window and busted out the driver's window and gave her a horrible concussion. So that was the end of Project Beauty. And Princess Faye was actually pregnant at the time. She had to be airlifted all the way to St. Louis. Because of that accident, Princess Faye, doctors basically told her you could lose your eyesight or your hearing. You could, basically you could go blind or deaf from this or all the above. So one of the biggest focuses on the Prince Magnum channel is to get big enough where we could be monetized and make enough money. So if she loses her hearing or she loses her eyesight, or God forbid, all the above, we are financially secure enough where I could just make my videos. There you go. And, just make videos and I could stay at home and be a good husband and take care of my wonderful wife. And, and I do love her that much. That's why I work as hard as I do here on the channel. And we are close to having the money-making stuff turned back on. That's not a joke. We used to be fully monetized here on the channel. If you actually look, it'll say Prince Magnum. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. And that's a bad spot anyways. That ravine, that embankment is huge. Think Different can verify that is a huge embankment right over there by those mobile homes that's on that side of Highway 67. She was actually going south towards Farmington from Bonne Terre. And that's when the back end kicked out, there was nothing stopping it. So from there, and I was really upset, I was having all these crazy emotions. So we're going to skip all of that. But so it's like we actually need a project car now for the channel, something that we could fix up that's going to be easy to work on, and no more plastic cars. Well, it depends. A lot of my live streams, depending on what I'm doing, that's the real views. But the problem is my channel's not big enough just yet. Once the monetization turns on and that sort of thing, people will start flocking to those DIY videos, and I can slow down on the streams a little bit. But, so it's one of those things that, it's a catch-22, but the live streams are actually doing better right now because people can interact more. So when I have visual aid, like the trophies or going out and working on the cars or Princess Faye slathering makeup on me, that seems to be getting my views. That gets my watch time. And believe it or not, when we do certain live streams, As soon as the video turns off, I can actually see exactly how many people have been in, and even watching the playback that's not even complete yet. So if basically, in a nutshell, even though the live stream is still going, there are people watching the playback depending on where they are in the world. Believe it or not a joke. Like yesterday's live, when we turned it off, yeah, there was only maybe there were the most people that watched at one particular time. There was a grand total of, I think, the peak was 13 people in the live at one point, but there was 88 total views already before the live stream was shut down. Not a joke. 88 views. Now, YouTube will take away a few of those, but that's YouTube. You kind of expect that. But there was a grand, I think if I remember correct, let me take a look. Grab the other cellular device that is only for, give me a second here. Yesterday's live stream had a total of 95 views. Okay, 95 views, 16 likes, and 3 dislikes. And which the 3 dislikes we know was that one troll that we had to throw out. So because of that, we had, so that ran my watch time minutes up dramatically. We're sitting at right now 22.7K watch time minutes right now, which equates to it equates to almost aircraft remover is getting huge. It's getting huge. Multiple channels. That's how he did it. And I've got a pretty good idea who it was. I think I already know. Well, let me put it more like this. There's a guy that I used to do work with here on YouTube. And if Third Gen is still in the live, he remembers these days. And it was before the days where I hooked up and started working with Jammin' John. There was a guy I was working with, and he's actually in a few of my videos, and we're slowly deleting those videos because he does not deserve any sort of credit for being a part of. Right. So we're coming up on 400 times. That's in the last 28 days. Okay, that we have almost 400 hours of watch time minutes. Now, believe it or not, the ones that get the most attention, the two that when we do the Saturday night makeup videos, and believe it or not, the sober talk videos are usually the biggest. DIY hot rodding, not as huge. You believe it or not. And that's what we enjoy doing. Surviving romance is somewhere in the middle. Okay. It gets attention, but the biggest part of the Prince Magnum channel anymore now is when we do live streams on Sober Talk, or when Princess Faye's slathering makeup on me. That is not a joke. So I knew after we did that one, that first one, I knew right then and there, it's like, well, son of a, that's what people want. Okay. So as soon as that happened, it's like, I knew right then and there, that was going to be the biggest chunk of, the views. And the last I looked, that was that video, that live stream is at almost 130 views. That is not a joke. The very first one. Chairman, thank you for being here with us, buddy. Appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, if that's any indication. So, now back in the early days of the channel, there was a guy that I worked with, loosely. He was not, loosely affiliated with the Prince Magnum channel. Now, this dude, because we're slowly deleting videos of him on, there's maybe one or two where we won't take down, but I will say right now, and I will say it direct, do not go to this guy's channel. There's nothing good on this channel. It's not worth watching. The last I looked at it, which was a long time ago, he was sitting at 57 subs. And initially, at one point in time, he had 100 more than me. Okay. So one point in time, he was actually he could have made it big, but he did several things wrong. Number one, he bashes the homosexual community. Yeah, I know I said it that way. And quit trying to put a million different names to it, okay? It is what it is, okay? Either you straight, you bi, or or what, or you're homosexual. All the other stuff in between, is you're just complicating it, okay? You do you, all right? But the thing of it is, he started bashing that community. Princess Faye is bi. Okay. So I got a beef with that. All right. I got a beef with that. And this dude was going around, basically bashing the homosexual community. And I called him out on it. All right. I called him out on it and I'm like, dude, enough's enough. And I basically said, I would love to beat the brakes off of you. And I said it in a live stream. Said, I would love to beat the brakes off of you, but there's laws against that. Yeah. A man, to me, that a civilized society, you cannot call your society civilized if some douchebag is bashing your wife and you're not allowed to beat the hell out of him. Okay. You cannot call that a civilized society. So I called him out on it. I'm like, dude, I've got the emails, okay? And I'm like, in the middle of the live stream, and Third Gen 83 will remember this. I said, let's go over. I said, I'll pay for it. We'll throw down in a round of laser tag, because if you are right in what you're saying, then before your God, if you are right, then you should beat me in combat. I said, personally, that's because I'm very old school like that. Very old school. We're talking, I actually believe that if you are in whatever God you believe in, if you are doing right by them, you should be able to win in right. So I challenged him to a game of laser tag, basically to stand, fight for, basically, if you are right in the eyes of your God for doing this, then you should be able to beat me. He wouldn't do it. It's laser tag. But he knew what was coming, that he was going to lose, okay? That he was not right in the eyes of the God that he believes in. So he openly apologizes. He comes to my job and apologizes, okay? And he apologizes on his channel. 2 days later, he retracts. Yeah, laser tag. We got a laser tag place over in Park Hills. Offered to pay for it all. Okay, said I'll pay for it. You just come in, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna have it out. Okay, that's all it was. Okay, I said, now I'll be honest with you. Personally, I would like to do a lot more than that. But that is legal. In laser tag, I can legally shoot you then. And and that was how I put it. I said, believe me, I'd like to just beat the hell out of you for talking smack like that. So I stood up for my wife and the community that technically she's a part of, okay? Like a good husband should, right? And I know there's ladies right now that say that's exactly how it should be. I stood up for my wife. Again, he apologized, and then 2 days later, he retracts his apology, okay? I'm like, dude, no. On top of that, he actually had the audacity. There was a police officer he had a beef with. That police officer passes away, and then he's bashing that police officer after he passed. the police officer has passed away. You know what? It's perfect. And well, the thing of it is there's a right way and a wrong way to express your opinion. And I have said this numerous times here on the Prince Magnum channel. A content creator in the eyes of the public can go from a hero to a villain like that. Okay? That is not a joke. All right? You can go from the hero here on YouTube to a villain like that. It is very easy because even as small, even though I'm kind of that mid-level now celebrity here on YouTube, technically I'm in that mid-level card area. I can totally destroy my channel like that if I start acting the fool. That's what this guy was doing. He started basically bashing this police officer, and I kid you not, he went onto camera and said, "I'm glad the dude's dead," and started bashing him. I'm like, really? Really? The state came in with the Sheriff's County, St. Francis Sheriff's County, picked this guy up with the aid of Bonne Terre City Police Department and hauled him off to Jefferson City to a state hospital for a 96-hour evaluation, and he wondered why. That is not a joke. And I was working with this dude. He had some good about him, but and we were small then. The Prince Magnum channel was very small. As a matter of fact, supporters of the channel weren't even known as the Maverick Nation yet. We weren't even to that point, okay? So that should give you an idea how small we were. And this goes all the way back. Project Spirit hadn't even been with us an entire year yet. And that should tell you how fairly small we were. That being said, this is not a joke, okay? I'm like, I actually had to put a video up to save us both because this guy, as soon as he gets home, he's all upset because for some reason he's getting death threats, okay? He's getting death threats and he wonders why. Because the guy, the police officer that passed away has a family. Really, dude? This guy is such a lowlife that he's basically bashing a dead guy, okay? And it's okay to be angry still, because you got to beef with this person. It's perfectly okay to be angry, but out of respect for the family, you don't talk about it, okay? And I explained that to him. Well, it's my channel, I'll do what I want. Dude, you're causing heat for me, okay? Oh, I didn't know that. Knock it off. You're causing problems for me, all right? I lost a total of 3 subscribers, and at that time, we only had 75, okay? That should tell you how small we were. I'm like, you are causing me problems now, brother. Knock it off. And then when he, that's what, and so there was that whole ordeal, okay? Then, the whole thing where he started bashing the homosexual community, which I'm going to tell y'all, I'm a child of the 80s, okay? And there was still a lot of that whole, this dude he is actually so bad. I won't even mention him on the channel, but he comes from, he's actually about 10 years. Yeah, no, we don't need to be associated with a guy like that. Right. So to go along with all that, him and I kind of grew up during that time frame that, my generation had the hardest time learning to kind of accept the homosexual community as it is, okay? Right. We had a hard time because we kind of grew up during that time where thank you, Christopher, for being here. So we had my generation had a hard time when some of our friends in high school came up and said, dude, you know, I'm gay. And, it's like, really? Okay. And we had to get over it because they were our friends. So we had a hard time. And, we're talking the 90s when there was a lot of that bull crap going on. We had to kind of, I guess you could say, change in a hurry. This dude didn't change. He still continues to do that horrible, talk horrible about him and everything. And it's like, but the final straw, his original channel was shut down because of all the things. He smacked a cat on camera, basically beat a cat on camera. The people were like, you got to stop this guy. Okay. And his channel was shut down. Now, bear in mind, I'm going to show y'all something very special here. Okay. I do not have the footage of him doing that. Okay. But, okay. This is the editing program that we have. Oh, I've been doing that. I don't know if it still shows up every now and again, but I've been deleting his stuff. But that is my editor. Okay. That is the editing program on my old computer. All right. I know this editor is the same one that this dude has. Okay. This dude has the same editing program I do. And I showed him how to work this editing program. Now, when everyone got upset about him, beating a cat on camera, it was supposed to be an edited video. He could have edited that out. Okay, not a joke. He provoked the cat. Basically, he put on this stupid unicorn head, not a joke, put on this stupid unicorn head and was basically tormenting the cat on camera. The cat was not having any of it. Lucy was not having any of it. Took a swipe at him. He gets upset because his cat took a swipe at him and basically beats the cat on camera. He could have edited that out. You guys would have never known the wiser of anything happening like that. And he leaves it in because this is how villainous this guy is, okay? Bear in mind, people that are truly villainous will not look at themselves when they're doing wrong and believe that they were in the right the whole time, okay? This is how villainous this person is. Did not think that he did wrong when he provoked the cat to begin with, gets swiped at, and then beats the cat on camera, then turns around, not a joke, turns around and could have edited that out if he wanted to. None of us would have been the wiser. But that is literally how, when it all came down, I'm like, this was one of the last times I talked to him. I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you leave that up? I said, you could have edited that out. Well, I didn't honestly think that did anything wrong. That is how villainous this person is, and that is how lazy he is. I said, I know the editing program you have. You could have deleted that scene, okay? And if anything, you could have redone the shot. So, he could have redone all of that. That is how this person is. He did not think he did anything wrong when legitimately he provoked the cat getting upset to begin with. Okay. And here on the Prince Magnum channel, we have 2 rescued cats to our name. That is not a joke. Okay? We have rescued 2 cats. All right? We just did it not that long ago. I have nothing to do with that guy, but yet he keeps sending me emails and I keep reporting them as spam. And I'm going to say it again because I know he's watching. He likes to watch. He likes to leave dislikes, which he's not really hurting me. The like and dislike button don't mean as much as it used to. It just lets the creator know when they're doing right or wrong. That's all it's for anymore, okay? It's the watch time minutes, the watch time hours, the time people spend, the views, that sort of thing. That's what actually matters nowadays here on YouTube. So what will happen is he will put that dislike. You still watch the video. You didn't do anything. If anything, even that split minute that it took for you to waste your time and come on here and leave that dislike, all you did in that was you still gave me my watch time minutes, which gets me closer to being monetized. You didn't do anything. That's how stupid this guy is. He's a freaking idiot. And for the record, I'm going to say it right to the camera. He'll act like there's, I have all these problems and everything like that. That's why I do this sort of stuff. That's why, I really, if that's the case, then maybe the state needs to come back and haul you in front of a judge and let the judge and a doctor decide whether or not you're capable of living in society. Maybe you're a danger to society at this point. Just saying, That's how stupid this guy is. So that's why we don't do any business with him anymore. We're again slowly deleting all of those videos. So if you want to see him, you better get on it. Yeah, he's watching us right now. He knows all too well that, shoot, I know where the guy lives. And him talking smack about he knows full well, okay, that if he ticks me off bad enough, that a police officer will look the other way right now. Because, and I told him, leave me alone. Leave the Prince Magnum channel alone. You do not need to be bothering us. Okay? So we have nothing to do with him. There's only 2 videos that's going to stay up that has him in it, and that's only because he was at a car show with us. And the other one was because I did a magic show on camera for him. That's it. And if he really, that's the only attention he ever gets to have. Ever. Okay. When I basically fooled him with a few card tricks, and when I took him to a car show so he can have better content for his channel. That's what kind of a guy I am. His content was so bad, I took him to a car show so he can expand his content. Yep. And then he turns around and does us dirty like that. So that's why we don't have, matter of fact, he was there the day that we got this trophy. He was there that day. Taking tons of pictures and everything, video. And you figure he'd have done us right a little bit better by that. But yeah. Oh yeah. 3rd Gen 83 actually remembers some of that stuff that was going on. He remembers a lot of that stuff that was going on. And remember guys, initially when he did start working with the channel, he did do some good. He helped us actually, no, he didn't help us that way, but he did add to our content. And if there's anything he did do for us, he did help my on-camera presence, because at that time I would not come around to this side of a camera. I didn't think it was a good idea. I didn't think I was any good at it. Stuff like that. And he was actually the one that for the longest time, I would only do, basically this was early Prince Magnum stuff where it was only like this. And I would have to get up here and right, you know, I mean, but yeah, I did the shades thing for the longest time. And then it started getting to the point as we did more to Project Spirit and you know, and other stuff, it was actually getting dangerous for me because I almost got hurt a couple of times on camera. And it's like, I need to, you know, and he's like, oh, don't do that. Right. Basically, someone asked the right question and I'm off the deep end, man. But yeah, I mean, you know, and he's like, oh, don't do that. I'm like, dude, it's getting dangerous. I'm going to get hurt. Well, that's a little different. Really? You know, so yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, uh, this dude was, he was bad news. He's still bad news. And he'll still send me something every now and again through email. And it's like, I don't want to talk to you. Why do I want to talk to you? You know, you have nothing good about you. You know, I'm wondering where the dang SPCA is at. Okay. Oh, she's still at the last one. Oh, Lucy and I are doing great. Really? Is she still alive? You know, he's, he's a loser. You know, he blows up his channel, then he restarts it under the same name. Yeah, gamer. Yeah, that's what kind of a guy he is. This guy has no business near the Prince Magnum channel. Remember, folks. Oh, I have. He just puts it, I'm not kidding you. He sneaks it in under other names and all that. Right. I mean, basically he's now he'll send it on. Yeah, I've blocked his email numerous times and I don't know how he's sneaking it in. So I just report him as spam. He's spam to me anyways. Actually, you really can't call him spam because spam is actually good. I like a spam sandwich every now and again. But talk about ruining something good. He I'll tell you what this dude is. I'll tell you what he is. This guy is so low. This dude is so low. If he sat on a piece of toilet paper, his feet would dangle. That's how low this dude is. Now I know some of y'all are going to be using that. Oh, man. That's how low this guy is. God, ask the right question. All right. I know. Great silent that. That's how I view it. Okay. And, so we've had some real classy kind of guys hang out here on the Prince. No, we have. We've improved a lot. Jammin' John has been a lot. He showed me a lot of things here on the channel. We've had Third Gen 83, who has been a major consultant with Project Spirit. Absolutely a major consultant. Hey, what's going on, Gavin John? That right, Hades, right? Uh, you know, he's something. I mean, talk about if you ever wanted to know how much it doesn't matter what God you believe in. I'm going to say it right now that whatever God you believe in has a sense of humor. You take the ultimate killing machine and you lock it in the size of something so teeny tiny, and you call it a cat. Not a joke. The ultimate killing machine and lock it in a body like that. You want to talk about a sense of humor, okay? That's and then they're defenseless against something like us, you know. And I will tell you all right now, I love cats. The Prince Magnum channel has had two successful rescues with cats. One of them, if you go back a little ways, was the little bitty Spike. Oh, he was cute. And last we actually took him all the way up to Illinois, and he's now doing doing very well. Last I heard, it's been a couple months. It's probably been about 6 months since we heard about Spike last, and in his forever home. And then recently we had a little short-haired black cat named Sebastian, who we found him a new home. He actually showed up basically on our doorstep. He came down and was cold. It was still really cold outside, and he came down, found Princess Faye, meow, 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 just little bitty. Brought him in and made himself at home, and fed him, fattened him up, and then sent him off to a home. And the little girl is homeschooled, who got little Sebastian, and he's doing exceptionally well. As a matter of fact, in one of the live streams, one of the cooking lives, a little son of a gun about caught himself on fire when we were cooking. And I'm like, oh my God, get down. You're going to set yourself on fire, little buddy. Had to shoo him down because he was interested in what we were doing. And that live stream is still up there where I had to shoo him down before he caught himself on fire. Little butt, And last time I asked, which was actually just this past week, he is doing really well. He's with his little, his 10-year-old owner, and they go everywhere together. They go outside and they play inside. I mean, just all over the place, and doing really, really well. So we have two successful rescues here on the Prince Magnum channel with cats. Love cats. Love cats. Somewhere around here, my big fat cat, Taver, is roaming around here. He's the one who takes care of me when I have flashbacks, because I suffer from PTSD too. So yeah, y'all got to hear me rant. Yeah, someone asked the right question. And someone did ask a little while ago, so finally I get to this. How much did we pay for Project Spirit? $1,000. $1,000 US for Project Spirit, and went down to Chaffee, Missouri, and bought Project Spirit from her original family. And that particular blue that is on Project Spirit, believe it or not, that blue. We used to make fun of that blue. If it was on a four-door car, that blue, we used to actually say that any four-door car painted in that color blue was always grandma's car. Not a joke. Not a joke. And we always used to make fun of that back in the day. Now everyone thinks it's nostalgic and really cool. And it's like, no, that used to be grandma's car. Literally, Project Spirit's original owner was a little old lady who used to tootle around with her grandkids in the back of the car. Sometime we'll have to look. I'll have to show you those scratch marks where they were scratching away at the plastic on the back. Literally, there was actual scratch marks where they were scratching into the plastic where her grandkids were in the back, scratching away. She used to take them to the grocery store, go to church, all that stuff in Project Spirit, all the way back in the 70s when Spirit was brand new. I would have loved to have seen what she looked like brand new back then. Oh my God, I would have loved it. And when the parts started getting hard to find for cars like Project Spirit, and scrap prices were really high at the end of the 80s, most of the four doors were scrapped. And so that's what happened to a lot of the four-door Mavericks, is most of them were stripped of the parts to keep the two doors going, or they rusted away to nothing. So they ended up in scrap yards, stripped, and then those parts were used into, were put into other, to keeping the other, classic Fords on the roads, usually the two doors. Right. But so we love our cats here, and I'm not a huge dog fan, but I still, I got nothing against dogs. I'll still, if a dog comes up, oh, what, and I'll start petting and playing with them. It's just one of them things, I don't, I like animals. I like it, not like that, but I like animals. You know, got to clarify nowadays. Anyhow, uh, I totally just did that. Anyhow, uh, holy stump breaker, Batman. You're really taking it to that mule. Anyhow, um, where was I? Yeah. So at the end of the 80s, the scrap prices were pretty high. So a lot of people started scrapping the four-door Mavericks. And Project Spirit got lucky because when she started to fall into disrepair, the little old lady who used to tool around with her grandkids didn't want to get rid of her and put her in a barn when she started to fall into disrepair. Project Spirit sat in that barn for about 2 decades, give or take. If I remember correctly, it was a little over 20 years. If I remember what the original family told me, she sat in that barn for right around a little over 20 years. So that's why the rust is so minimal on her. Then she was pulled when the little old lady passed away. They're like, "What are we going to do with Grandma's car?" And one of her sons said, "Let's put it back on the road. Let's fix it up." And he started doing it. He pulled apart her original Project Spirit's original engine, went through it, found that there was nothing wrong with that old 6-cylinder, put it back together as it was, just with fresh gaskets, and put it all back together. And he was in the process of doing a lot of stuff to it. I could actually see where he was working and could see what he had done with Spirit. Gets all the way to, where he's putting it back together, was pretty satisfied with it, was looking at doing some other stuff. And of all the things, he found out he had cancer. And this man battled cancer for 4 years and lost his battle with cancer. And that's what happened. And the work stopped. Project Spirit did not get finished. And by one of the so she didn't get finished. Then so now technically the second member of the family that had her is gone. Well, then one of the grandkids takes over and he starts trying to finish the project. Now, this guy really did try. He really did try. But compost is not a valid use for vacuum caps, okay? I mean, if you're in desperate need and you're just trying to get home so you could, that's perfectly okay. But leaving it as a vacuum cap is not a valid fix. So that should give you an idea. And he worked on her for a little while, couldn't get her to run right. And he's like, so now it's the choice. I can't get the car to run right. So I have two choices. One, send it to the scrap heap, or two, sell it. He put Project Spirit up on Craigslist for $1,200. Okay. And at that time, Project Beauty is gone, the original project car for the Prince Magnum channel. And I don't even consider that the true start of the Prince Magnum channel. Any video before Project Spirit is just us kind of learning what we're doing. Okay. So we had no idea what we were doing back then. And so literally, from that moment, he put Project Spirit up. She was actually on Craigslist for right around close to 2 weeks. And he had said if she did not sell within a month, he told me, he said if she hadn't sold within a month, he was actually going to send Project Spirit to the crusher. He was just going to have her crushed. And we seen her at that 2-week marker, and we talked to him, kind of negotiated the price. Well, I say it was Princess Faye that negotiated the price down to $1,000. And she actually got the money together, got that $1,000. And a friend of ours took us out to get Project Spirit middle of the night. It was probably about 10 o'clock at night when we got there. And did all the paperwork and jumped into Project Spirit and started driving. And we got we had some problems getting her home because there was a lot of things this guy did wrong. And I mean, he really did try. And it's one of those things that he did a lot of stuff wrong, but we did drive her home. It was a process. It was a process, let me tell you. We get her home and I start going through her myself. It's like, there is something wrong. I cannot get her to run right. Did a tune up and everything. It's like, okay, now we know it's not the tune up. Did the oil change and that whole thing, and got all this other stuff done to her. And finally, I took her over to a buddy's and found out that she was having problems getting the battery to hold a charge. And that was a whole process that we just got earlier. Well, last year, we finally got the bugs worked out of the ignition and all the electrical issues for now. So literally, we had to work on her to that point. And we're going to actually have to get ready to shut down here soon. But so quite literally, Project Spirit had a lot of electrical issues that anytime in those old cars that you're dealing with electrical issues, good luck. But it took us a long time to get those bugs out. But while he was over at a shop in Park Hills, while she was over there, I had a buddy looking at her, a very good mechanic. He basically sprayed some carburetor cleaner, not inside the carburetor, but right at the base. And to tell you how stupid some people are that come onto YouTube, there are some really, you get some interesting, some stupid trolls, and it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. There's actually a base that separates the carburetor from the intake manifold to the carburetor itself. And this plate is switched out willy-nilly, so good luck finding the exact gasket. But there is the gasket that goes between the carburetor and that plate was there just fine. But there's another gasket that goes at the bottom of that plate that mounts to the carburetor and the intake manifold. Not a joke. That gasket was missing. That's why she never ran right. So quite literally, we put a gasket there just because you cannot get that gasket anymore. It doesn't even exist on paper, just maybe in history books. But we made a gasket, put it there, and she ran just fine. I sent the guy a text saying we figured out what was wrong. She was missing the gasket between that bottom base plate of the carburetor and the intake manifold. It was a huge vacuum leak. I said, she's running just fine now. He stopped talking to me. Basically, he sold me a perfectly good running car and didn't know it for $1,000. A perfectly good, I can't even say classic anymore. We have to be honest. Anything after 25 years here in Missouri is considered antique. Project Spirit's an antique, technically. So he sold me a perfectly good antique car for $1,000 that most of them were crushed. There's an excellent chance I'm probably the last person here in the state of Missouri still driving a four-door Maverick. And to tell you how rare the four-door Mavericks are, they made close to a couple million. First time hearing that story? Yeah, true story. True story. To give you an idea, when I talked to the international president vice president of the Maverick International Maverick Comet Club, he said that to his knowledge, only 5% of the four doors that were made in the Mavericks and Comets are still out there. Only 5% of them. Yeah, the EGR spacer. Yeah, you can't even get that anymore. That, to give you an idea, that only 5% of them are still left, and most of them are on the East and West Coast. Okay. Here in the U.S. That's in the U.S. I don't know outside of the U.S. Only 5% were left. there's an excellent chance that I am probably the last person in the state of Missouri still daily driving a 1970s four-door Maverick. And when I told him that, he's like, oh my God. He said, I didn't think you could still find the four-door Mavericks. They're extremely rare. And this was this was just, he's like, you have a four-door Maverick that's still daily driven? You are like my hero. He's like, that is so awesome. What size engine? I said, the inline 250. Oh my God. He's like, most people yank those things out and throw them away. You still have one that has the 6-cylinder? I said, yeah. What type of transmission? And I said, she's still got the old 3 on the tree. At that time, he said, the 3 on the tree? Oh my God. He's like, you are my hero, man. And he started looking up videos, You would think it is, but it's not. It is different bolt pattern. I'm not kidding you. So anytime that there are times that we have to go out there, I'll actually show you. Hang on a second here. Yeah, here it is. No, it isn't. Somewhere in this rack of fracking mess, I know it's here because I put it here. And there I go. I was looking for that. Oh, there it is. I was totally looking right at it. Here you go. This is the actual bolt pattern. And it literally says carb to end on it. This is the actual pattern that we have to cut for Project Spirit, for that little spacer. This is actually what it looks like. Okay. So anytime that gasket goes bad, we have to cut it directly from just rolled up cork. And this is the pattern. You would think it would be, but that's why, because Ford changed these out so willy-nilly, good luck finding it. So quite literally, we have to go in every now and again and replace that, which I think it's getting due because it's been 3 years. And it seems like every 2 years every couple of years we have to change this gasket. But this is the actual pattern that we have to have for that gasket. So if you ever wondered about that. And so what we did was when we made that gasket, we took the carburetor off, turned everything upside down, and we traced this out, and Princess Faye cut it. So literally when it has to be replaced, Princess Faye will actually hand make the gasket herself. Again, my wife coming to the rescue of Project Spirit and making her run the way that she does. Then I'll put everything back together myself. Yeah, but yeah. Seen one four-door man, and you're from the Motor City? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Project Spirit, believe it or not, the Maverick is still super popular in Mexico and in South American countries like Brazil. They're everywhere still. Oh yeah, I mean, I love my wife. She's amazing. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Actually, I showed this earlier. We're going to do it again. Hang on here. Why did I do that? All right, we're going to just, come on. There we go. Real quick. There was a time that the Prince Magnum channel actually had 2 Mavericks. Project Spirit and Project Vera. That is a picture of when we had both cars. That was actually at Deloge Walmart. We used to have two Mavericks, and I do miss that car, but the frame rusted out from underneath it, which is actually a commonplace thing, especially in Missouri. But we took Project Spirit and Project Vera to one car show. We went to a lot of car meets, but we took them to a couple car shows. And Project Spirit, we used to both have Mavericks, and it was always so funny. I've got a bunch of funny stories about that. It was so much fun. But real quick, the same. It's been a while since I've really showed this. You're gonna love this. Yeah, real salty roads here. Yeah, we had two. Bought that one. Right, Sean? You're gonna love this. I showed this trophy, and this was Project Spirit's second trophy, okay? She got runner-up in her class, which we were separated by if Project Spirit or Project Vera. Well, the frame rusted out from underneath her, and the gas tank literally collapsed in. This Project Vera sat in mud up to her frame for 8 years. 8 years. That is not a joke. That poor little car sat in the mud for 8 total years, and you just can't expect it to hold up forever. We did everything we could to keep her on the road, and we ended up selling her. Then she was stripped of a lot of parts and put a grand total of 3 vehicles back on the road, and was actually for drag racing. Her transmission, her automatic transmission, had a couple of little things done to it. Other than that, just as it was in 77, it was slapped into a drag truck. Truck for drag racing. Not a joke. That's how solid this car still was, other than the frame and the gas tank rusting out. The 6-cylinder, actually, right? So Project, that was Project Vera. Man, I mean, I've still got a bunch of old footage and pictures. But imagine, I kid you not, we actually stopped at the Deloge AutoZone, pulled in both Mavericks, and there was a guy sitting there saying, "I am so glad I am working tonight. I have never in my life seen anything like that. This is the coolest thing." He said, seeing 2 Mavericks pull in. It was the coolest thing to him. Everywhere we went. But, back to the trophy. This is Project Spirit's second trophy, runner-up in her class, okay? Project Vera was showed that same day and took first place in her class. We were not in the same class, but she took first place in her class. Not a joke. That, my wife got first place in her class with her 77 4-door Maverick. Oh my gosh. You should have seen it. The people, when they asked us to go to this car show, they're like, man, would love to see, would love to see these men. They were actually sitting there talking to each other saying, I wonder, because we both went over to the Farmington Walmart to have, I basically followed Princess Faye in Project Spirit, and she was in Project Vera. We went over to the Farmington Walmart, and she was getting brand new tires on her. And the people were looking at it, and they're like, man, it would be so cool if they brought those Mavericks to, our car show in Pilot Knob. And you know what? And a lot of people actually asked me if I was upset that she took first place in her class and I got second place in my class, because we were actually separated by a couple years. because I was in the 70 to 70 the 70 to 75 class, or seven, it was like 70 to 75 or 76, and then Princess Faye fell in. But if we would have been, if either car would have been 1 year closer to each other, we would have been, I know we would have been in the same class, basically. And she took first place in her class. And everyone asked me, was I upset about it? Hell no, I was proud of my wife. She took first place in her class. And I was not upset. I was sitting there going, my wife took first place in her class. Eat that, guys. My wife is that awesome. She took first place in her class at a car show with a 77 Ford Maverick. That is awesome. Okay. I was proud of her. I wouldn't dare take that from her. Not so there you have it. I mean, that is Princess Faye's first place trophy from her 77 Maverick, better known as Project Vera, while I took runner-up in my class. Right? I wasn't upset about that at all. I was very proud of my wife. You know, I'm still proud of her for doing it. Okay? I wouldn't, and we went to, and let me tell you, all the old timers in the area, I think Different knows what I'm talking about. The ones that show up at the Columbia McDonald's and show off all those old cars, the really old cars. Let me tell y'all right now, when Princess Faye would take Project Vera out there, them older guys loved Project Vera more than Project Spirit. The reason being, because a woman was working on it. And they would always tell me, that's a keeper right there, man. You better take good care of that woman. And, or Steak and Shake. That's another spot. So they would always say, you better hang on to that one. I said, why do you think I married her? Okay, plain and simple. That's why I married that woman. Which, just about time for me to, you know, and they all love Project Vera. Which one of them told me they loved Project Vera's name. They loved her name specifically because Vera was actually a name that you would have heard in like older movies, in old black and white movies, as the villainous woman. And I did not know that. He told me that. I'm like, really? Dang, that is cool, man. And, you know, I thought that was neat as heck, you know, and he's like, yeah, he said, I love the name alone. He said, but the fact that a woman, Queen Bee stood here like, yeah, showing off the your wife's first place trophy that when I took runner up that day. Okay, there you go, Sean. That I didn't remember. I did not. I loved Cheers. I loved it, but yeah, this is my wife's first place trophy when I got runner up in my class. In her class, she took first place. Not a joke. And as a matter of fact, right? To go along with that, you guys are going to love this. The people that when they asked us to come to their car show in Pilot Nam, they're like, I wonder if they know each other because both cars were not too far from each other. Like, I wonder if they know each other. And then they found out that we were married and they're like, oh my God, a his and hers project. Oh my God. And back then, hey, what's going on? Donald Seven. We are talking about Project Spirit. Basically, it's a Q&A about the true star of the Prince Magnum channel, Project Spirit. And we're showing off her trophies. Earlier in the stream, we were outside doing walking around. I even did a little bit of work to the old girl. Changed a couple things out on her. You know, we've had a lot of fun just chit-chatting about the old car. And I'm actually getting ready to shut down the stream probably in the next couple of minutes. Uh, Viable. Oh man. Well, thank you for coming in, my man. Appreciate you. I haven't seen you in a minute. I've been missing coming over and seeing you in your live. So we've been going live pretty much every day except Mondays. And we've been going live doing a little something here on the channel. Yesterday, if you watch yesterday's stream, I promise you. Well, I'm glad to see you back online. Been missing you. If y'all not had a chance to check out Viable Solutions, get over there and see his stuff. Absolutely a fantastic streamer. Streams some amazing games. It's actually not doing too bad. It's just our internet sucks. I got to talk to a buddy of mine. He's got a setup that he knows that basically he knows how to take and do this thing where, you don't have to buy unlimited data for a cell phone. He knows how to actually use where you can actually just, the actual data for your cell phone to, like when you make a phone call, that data, he actually knows how to. Yeah, usually about 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, US, is when I go live. Sometimes a little bit before, or sometimes we might do one after that. Yeah, just kind of a heads up. There's 2 live streams from yesterday. The first one, we were just chit-chatting, hanging out, just positive vibes. And then the second one will probably scare the hell out of you. But it was all in good fun. We had a lot of fun. Really? Well, I got a buddy who knows how to actually live stream. Yeah, you're all the way up there in Ireland. Oh, man. And so, yeah, we just showed up. I actually showed off. At one time, this channel used to have 2 1970s 4-door Mavericks. I just actually showed what that was. That was awesome, having his and hers project. And believe it or not, someone actually took a picture, and it made its way around briefly on Facebook. Y'all remember the memes? Yeah, you up there. It's not too bad where you're at right now. It's starting to make its way around in my rural community, and we're all exactly, man. Exactly. Don't even get me started on that. But yeah, we used to have here on the Prince Magnum channel, we used to have 2 1970s Mavericks. And I miss having that, but man, it was so much fun having a his and hers project. That was fun. Oh my gosh. That was a lot of fun. Oh, really? They're manipulating the figures. It's worse than surprise, surprise. US is still leading all the way, though. We got a lot of idiots in this country, here in the United States. Actually, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't like to get started talking about this stuff, but Donald Trump was better than what we could have gotten. The person that we almost got as president, Hillary Clinton, she actually sold out the U.S. Hillary Clinton, and no one's talking about this, okay? Everyone's like, why is Donald Trump wanting to have Hillary Clinton locked up? Because she sold us out. She actually sold nuclear weapons technology, the schematics for ICB nuclear missiles to North Korea. That's how they got that tech. She was caught by the CIA. She was busted by the CIA on a runway selling that tech to North Korea. How do you think they got it? Okay. And don't even get me started about the dirty things that she does, that her and her husband and a lot of high echelon people do on an island that's just outside of U.S. borders. Right? Don't even get me started on that. Okay? The Alex Jones show exposed that. And because of that, Google does not allow him on Facebook or anywhere. They've taken all his stuff off of Google, okay, as much as possible. That's why he doesn't have a YouTube channel anymore. No joke. Yeah. Why do you think that you could have went to the Alex Jones show and bought t-shirts that said Hillary for prison? Okay. So what we got was 1,000 times better than what we almost got in this country. And a lot of people don't talk about that. Oh yeah. We all know it. We all know it. As a matter of fact, the media in this country, not a joke, does everything to protect that woman, okay? And let me put it more like this. They actually go so far to protect that woman. Bill Clinton should be in prison. Yes, yes. Bill Clinton should actually be in prison. Because when they started talking about how Donald Trump and the whole, how he supposedly treated women and everything, he actually got all of the women together. Right. They actually got all the women Donald Trump went and got all the women together that Bill Clinton took advantage of. And you know the 4-letter word that I'm talking about then. Okay, 4-letter word, took advantage of him, that Hillary Clinton got him off of those charges, okay? Got all of those women together, brought them in for a press conference. This is what our current president did. When the media realized what was about to be said, they shut the cameras off. They knew what was about to be said. Our media in this country knows how dirty Bill Clinton is and knows what Hillary Clinton did. Don't even go to Haiti and ask them if they want anything to do. Go ahead. I'm curious what the joke is about Bill Clinton, because he's really rotten, really rotten. I'm curious what this joke is. What, the Washington Monument's more of a That's funny. Oh my God. Well, but yeah, there's a lot of that stuff, and people, and then again, look at also what happened to Joan Rivers when she ratted out Michelle Obama, or should we say Michael Obama? Anyhow, look at what happened to her. I better be careful. I'm gonna could happen to anyone, right? But anyhow, so we talked about Project Spirit mostly through the stream, and I got triggered a couple of times. Hey, it happens. It happens. Giggity got what? What the ding dang dong gonna do? And you guys even learned some of it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You guys would be able to get the information better than we could, but take a look. And this, the BBC has actually covered this. Take a look at what Ford was doing, what Ford and a lot of the other companies in this country was doing in Nazi Germany during the 1940s sometime. Okay. Germany did not just recover overnight. There was investors. They came from the US. Okay. I'm looking forward to the day that we do have the first woman president. It just better not be Hillary Clinton. Okay. I'm just going to say that right now. I was rooting on for Sarah Palin. Come on. I was rooting her on. I mean, I would have loved that as, as I know she was running for vice president. She was in for vice president, but I mean, you know what? My wife might be watching this stream. I'm just going to stop right there, or she's going to. Oh, yes, he was. Yes, he was. And we won't talk about what it was like in Nazi Germany, how American companies were invested in Nazi Germany. Okay, they put Hitler in power. I mean, I could do a whole. I mean, here in Missouri, I live in the only state here in the United States, because no one really pays enough attention to it, but the state of Missouri is more communist than China. Okay, I said it. Missouri in a lot of ways is more communist than China. I hate to say that. And worse, Yes, they were. Yes, it was. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with Fanta. I like Fanta. Not everything that came out of that was bad. I mean, we got the Volkswagen Beetle, the original ones. That wasn't so bad. And from that, we ended up getting Porsches. Come on. That can't be all that bad, So, I mean, some good did come from that, and there was a lot of heroes made in that, Colonel von Stauffenberg, Yeah, July 20th. We should remember it. We should remember July 20th, even in this country. Yeah, I said that. Klaus von Stauffenberg. And most people don't, in this country, we don't know enough about it. Take a look at the movie Valkyrie. You'll get it. Okay. We need, thank you, Tom Cruise, for playing. Oh, no. Well, hopefully, I have family in Germany, actually. Really? Mm. Well, I'm hoping Germany can weather this storm. Best healthcare in the world? Yeah. Here in the United States, we don't have healthcare. We got sick care. But anyhow, don't get me started. I do need to wind it down real quick. I know I need to show it again real quick for Sean. Because, I'm sure it is. Real quick, I got to do it for Sean. Earlier in the stream, he's already like, yeah. Earlier in the stream, I showed the mount where I get those awesome shots over Project Spirit's hood, and when we're doing stuff, or where you get the shots where I'm sitting behind the wheel driving Project Spirit in my edited videos. If you ever wondered how I got that, it's with cameras that are just like this. Okay, this is actually one of the dash cams that we use here on the channel, and these cameras are phenomenal. I love these cameras, and so much so that we use them for all of our video footage. Now, because of that, unfortunately, trying to mount one of these or set them up, there is no other mounts than the ones that came, that are literally, like this, mounted, So in order to mount, to set these up or anything like that, they don't make anything else. They don't make them. And I got really frustrated. It's like, fine, I'm going to make my own. So literally, I went out and cut down a tree. Not a joke. It was a small tree that basically it's in a patch of area that's in behind HQ. And basically this area in behind HQ, the city will come through and just cut all those trees down anyways, because they're not supposed to be there. And I get it. I get it. Anyhow, so I literally cut out a block of wood from this tree, and every now and again I'll go out and for any projects. And but basically, this was my first major project. I wanted my own camera mount for these types of cameras, and this is what I did. I basically cut out a section of wood from this tree, cleaned it up and everything, and started shaping it. And I basically cut out this kind of, carved out this area. And now literally the camera sits right like that. Okay. But then right over here, right over here is where the lens sits. Okay. Now, in order to get the lens, to get this groove here, where the lens will sit, what I had to actually do was I had to take this file right here, which is kind of a half moon shape, right like that. And then I had to lay it right down on this spot and work it back and forth, okay? And that is how we cut out this section. So this camera, the camera lens is right like that, okay? So because I had to use a file right here to get this spot cut out for the camera, that must mean I'm really good at filing, and maybe I should try my hand at being a secretary. Wait for it. The running gag here on the channel. That's Sean's favorite joke. I'm not kidding you. That is his favorite joke. And every time we're polystyrene, probably. But I want everybody's loving it. That is one of the running gags here on the channel. Now you're gonna have to go over after the stream, obviously, but you're gonna have to go. There is a series. There's an actual playlist here on my channel now called Aircraft Remover. Now, if you've not seen it, you got to see this. When you go in there, it'll literally, each video is probably at best Maverick Nation's greatest hits. And you're going to see me use this can of Aircraft Remover. There you go. You're going to see this can of Aircraft Remover used regularly in this series called Aircraft Remover because it's Aircraft Remover. Don't worry, guys. I got the cap on. We're safe. We're safe, okay? I promise we'll be okay. But I promise, the moment you see Aircraft Remover, you will never be the same again. You will not be able to stop laughing uncontrollably. It is the most popular series here on the channel, and it's gaining traction. I suspect that any time now, one of those videos may go viral, okay? I'm not kidding. Because everybody loves Aircraft Remover. You can sign that can. Don't want to blow the neighbor. Yeah, we know how this stuff works, okay? You got to be careful with this. You got to be careful with Aircraft Remover. I mean, phew. Got to be careful with that stuff, right? We know all too well what Aircraft Remover does. Actually, hang on. Liable, if you are still in here, I will give you a preview. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate you. Just for you, Viable. You're gonna love this. You're gonna have to go watch this series, but I'll give you the preview of what you've been missing. Hang on. We'll do that again. There you go. That's what you've been missing. My 80s child like mine. Okay, I've got to go. Hang on a second. All right, I got to jump off of here. I need to go and take care of my beautiful wife. Guys, as always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Oh my God. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet, do something special for them. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.